Remember, I do, we do, you do? That concept in school where the teacher would, display the math topic and then they would show you how to do it on the board. And then you would do it all together with like a worksheet. And maybe you'll do the first couple together and then you are left alone, like released independently to do it on your own. That also applies to emotional regulation. I was literally 29 years old and 47 weeks old. 29 and 47 weeks old. It is like, so 2 months before my birthday, which is coming up soon, when I learned that, my emotional well being is my business. That is my duty. No one, I used to blame my parents for not teaching me that. But also, where did they learn that from? you know and for the longest it was like waiting for someone to be the one to help me regulate or to help me feel better, or like when other people's behavior change then I'm going to change how I feel about it. But that's not how it works, right? Like, we're actually solely responsible for how we respond to our emotions, how we soothe ourselves, and then how we proceed forward. And I think it's a hard pill to swallow, right? Because if that person's pissing me off, well, they need to change what they're doing. And it's not so easy to just always remove ourselves, right? Because I think social media and this world we currently live in lets us believe that you can just block people. You can't block people in real life, right? You can cut off your attention and energy to them. You can limit how much you see them, but ultimately we're going to come across upsetting things all the time, right? And I feel like we've really a lot of us missed the we do section of co-regulation, of like learning how to regulate our emotions, because we didn't see those models. So the you do feels really like daunting and impossible, but it's not. Right? It's like we just have to take the time to start to notice what's actually going on in our bodies, not say, "Oh, I'm fine though," right? My heart is broken, but I'm fine though. I'm miserable, but it's okay though. Of course, yes. Ultimately, we'll always be okay. That seems to be the case. Like, I know every time I felt really low, there's also been a high to follow it eventually. That said, in the moment that I'm feeling low, yes, it can be helpful to remember that yes, there's a dawn to the next day, right? In this dark moment, but that doesn't help me in this moment, right? That's kind of invalidating actually to where I am right now, and being able to kind of just sit with that feeling, allow the feelings of discomfort to be present, validate how I'm feeling, actually say out loud like, I'm kind of pissed right now, or I'm really sad right now, and I feel like there's no way up. Being able to even admit that, right? Because awareness is the first step of change, and then the second one is acceptance, and then you can start making different moves to ultimately improve the mood or change what you're going through. But that's just something that was on my spirit, I was thinking about today. um, because I feel like growing up, I was made responsible for other people's emotions, right? It was like, if you do this, then I will do this. If you act this way, I'm gonna do this. So I was very much constantly trying to gauge my actions, like what I did, based on fear of reaction from someone else or fear of consequences. But that's not teaching me self responsibility. That's not teaching me personal responsibility, that I alone am in charge of my emotional experience, right? Like, I can receive stimulus, I can get upset, then I can cool down and I can regulate. That's not the way I was raised. I was taught, don't make me mad and there won't be no problems for you, right? And that has impacted me a lot in life. And it's like, again, only within the past 2 years that I've learned the power of self regulation and like detaching from someone else's emotional experience. And that actually helps us all when I'm not caught up in your experience, right? And I can regulate myself. That actually is how we co regulate too, right? If my parents had been able to go through their feelings and feel what they had to feel, and then I saw them doing that, I'd be like, oh, so I don't have to do anything to change how you're feeling. That's the we do section. And so it's like hard, again, with this teaching model of skipping over the we do. But also, that's why we have friends, right? With our friends, we get to practice that. With our romantic relationships, we get to practice that. And ultimately strengthen our doing it on our own. So, yeah. Thanks for listening.